So yesterday, the White House was asked about ISIS. The president said yesterday that he needed to, and this is a quote, organize the Arab world.
I don't know how you do that, but good luck.
I don't know what to say to that, but also there was an interesting exchange at the White House briefing.
Yes, Josh Earnest was asked about the JV team line because now people are starting to see how bad this group is and that they're not Al-Qaeda's JV team. And so Josh Earnest was asked yesterday at the press briefing, finally, about that.
Did the president underestimate ISIS when he referred to them in an interview only a couple months ago as a JV squad, and making a reference to National Basketball Association teams like the Lakers?
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought somebody might ask this question today, so I wanted to pull the transcript of the interview.
Stop. This is so outrageous.
Yeah.
You know why he's laughing? Why they're laughing? Do you know why they're laughing? Most Americans don't know this. Anybody in the press does. Why are they laughing? Well, I had a feeling I was gonna be asked this question. Ha 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 ha. All of the questions are pre-vetted.
Now they deny that, don't they?
They do deny that.
They deny that.
Yeah.
Do they?
But
They do.
There have been people that say, yes,
now,
we do
lots
have to
of them.
pre-submit.
Why are they laughing?
Well, I would say they were laughing because it's pretty obvious they were going to be asked about it, and they knew.
You could make that case.
You could make the case.
You could make the case.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yes, we're asking about it. You know why we're asking about it? Because it was such a horrific moment in the administration's history.
Yeah.
And they're saying, even this one's so obvious, even this media is going to ask about it.
Pretty amazing.
Okay, so here's how he responds.
Because it's important to understand the context in which this was delivered. So let me just read the full quote, and then we can talk about it.
Read the full quote. That'd be great.
The president said, quote,
Here's what
I
he
think
said.
there is a distinction between the capacity and reach of a bin Laden
and reach.
and a network that is actively planning major terrorist plots against the homeland versus jihadists who are engaged in various local power struggles and disputes, often sectarian.
Okay, so he goes on to deny that he even said or compared them to a JV team. What is the problem with that? It wasn't the quote that was being referenced by the reporter. He goes on to cite some other quote so that he can deny. See, he didn't say that. Well, the quote in question is this one. The president is asked about the resurgence of this group, and the president says, yes, but David, I think the analogy we use around here sometimes, and I think is accurate, is if a JV team puts on a Lakers uniform, that doesn't make them Kobe Bryant. That was the quote, not the one he gave. He actually compares them to a JV team.
Right. And
in this quote.
Then that's a
They're
direct
just
quote.
Flat out lying.
But what he's saying is, he is saying that the context here is that they're not the same as those who would target us here in the homeland.
Right, they're not as big a threat to us because their designs are not necessarily attacks on us, but attacks.
But that's
on
that's not true.
First of all, obviously not true.
No,
they've said it.
They've said it a million times. They're coming when the
over and over.
When we released this guy from prison, when this president released the head guy of ISIL from prison, his quote was to our troops, quote, I'll see you in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that they don't have designs on us,
they also have far more money. They have far more access to resources.
Far more money
than Al Qaeda did.
Much more money than Al Qaeda ever has had.
And I'm curious as to, as a long-term threat, which one is a bigger deal? When you have a bunch of people, a network in caves and in hiding, like Al Qaeda, or someone who controls an entire economy that has access to unlimited funds from other nations that will eventually be able to interact with other nations through trade and everything else. They're in the middle of taking countries over right now.
Guys, I have to tell you, I told